Okay. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, April 10th, 2026. Shout out to everybody. We're going to start this one off dedicating to my uncle. Got my Coke right here. He never accepted nothing but regular Coke, but he had all metabolism in the family, so he could drink regular Cokes. I cannot, so this is a nice Coke Zero. So shout out to my uncle. He's the reason why I have been doing this going into 12 years. April 14th. 2014 is when I started. So really, those years have been flying by. But now I'm joined by my amazing co-host here, my fam here, Mr. James J. Train Martin, Mr. N.O. Extraordinaire, and Mr. B.A. What Up Doe. Guys, how y'all doing? And happy weekend to you guys.
Happy Friday to you both.
Friday. Yep.
And all the fam out there.
Uncle?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what y'all got going on? We'll start out. We'll warm the stage. Let's say that we'll warm the stage. What you guys got going on with what's big in your neck of the woods? Inquiring minds want to know.
B?
Nothing but J.O.B. That's right. What's going on with me right now in the neck of the woods, man? Solid.
Same thing. I mean, and also obviously we're busy with other podcasts, as you know, and we still working hard on BW Flicks.
Absolutely. Let me tell y'all, you guys did this Leslie Nielsen tribute the other night, and I still need to watch the whole thing because I was trying to sneak and watch it in class, and I had the caption on, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're doing the Naked Gun, and I'm just like, I love him. And from what I saw, because I did come home and watch it, you all just have such a great chemistry on stage, and the show is entertaining and funny, and we thank everyone that's been commenting as well, and keeping us engaged. And for all of you all who are watching now, please say howdy, so we'll know you're on. I just got a private message from Danny. Danny, you can say hello. You can say hello on the platform, but Danny's always good about sharing. I'm assuming he shared my own live to me, and that's what the message is. So there's that. But Danny always coming in. What's up, Cam? And hello to everybody. And this is McGrath Podcast Network. Like James and B have the BW show. We got a lot of shows. Tomorrow I have the honor of being on the Dennis and Sharon show, the Ignorant Podcast Network, I think they call it. I'll be on there at 9:30 tomorrow morning. We'll be streaming that here. Please support. And I'll also be on with the Legal Score at 4 p.m. that I am on every Saturday, where you guys can talk current events and legal stuff and probably some sports, whatever happens, like kind of that drizzles over from Friday into Saturday. I kind of try to talk about that as well. This is one of those things I would have waited on, but I'm so glad we had tonight's show, guys, because the Department of Justice, they usually stick with a lot of like high tech type stuff. Well, the NFL is now under investigation. And I'm going to be honest, I'm glad, because it is to do with all of these streaming services and the greed that the NFL has just put out there, and having customers pay thousands of dollars to stream games. None of them are on one platform. We all know this. I think I had at one time 4 different subscriptions prior to last year before YouTube finally got some of the games that I was really looking for. But even then, it depends on what part of the country you're living in. You still may be, butt out because you can't get a chance to, what's up, Danny? I knew you'd be there. Get a chance to actually watch your game. And there's not that many discounts. Like, for instance, I got a, knock on wood, and I hope they have it next semester, student discount that I couldn't resist. But other than that, it was $970 to stream the NFL package. What's up, Dizzle? on YouTube. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I don't have that kind of money. And so, guys, I know James, you and I have actually talked a while back about even favorite shows that we watch. Sometimes, I know you have that little net where you will subscribe, binge watch them all, and then unsubscribe. And so you let them pile up and just kind of stay off social media so nobody ruins the spoilers. But B, what do you think about that? What's up, Danny? Okay, again. What do you think about that, B? I'll start with you, and then James, I want you to kind of dovetail off of that, because I do know your stance on it, and I know there are a lot of watchers and viewers right now that have the same attitude as we do about this.
But that's all it is. It's an attitude. The Department of Justice can always investigate whatever they want to investigate. The NFL is a private company. They can do what they want to do. That's just the tall and the short of it. I don't like it either, but you know what? It's called capitalism, and that's what they do. You're just going to be shelling out money if you really want to watch the games. If people really want to force the NFL to make it a one package deal on some streaming, don't purchase no games. Don't purchase any streaming services that have the games on there. But nobody's going to do that because people want to watch other stuff. So
yeah,
it's not a win-win situation for the fans. It is going to be the department. I just think this is kind of a waste of time. They could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff because they're not going to win this. They're not going to find out anything else we already don't know as a public base. So that's my view on it.
What do you think? But what you say, V?
I just say unfortunately, but
yeah,
it's the way the cookie crumbles.
What you think, James?
Yeah, cookies are always crumbling all over the place, but there is a place called Crumble Cookie that has great cookies. And that's a shout out to Crumble. Yes, and if you want to sponsor us. Hey, I just mentioned you about your cookies. They're great. Anyway, in regards to this whole situation, B's right. Everyone would have to band together and say, yeah, I would love to know what you're saying, my man. I got to pick up a little more babble so that I can exactly respond to that. But hola to you, yes. See what she said. So, but yes, I mean, boycotting is the way to go. Boycotting protests, and everyone would have to band together. We'd have to be an organized machine to say, well, the NFL is going to fold and stop, but then no one's going to do that, and the NFL knows this because everyone is addicted to entertainment. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Of course they are, because billions of dollars flow right into the NFL every single year, and it goes higher and higher and higher, and yet we complain and complain and complain about the situation, but nobody wants to band together and get together and get something done about the situation that's being handed to them. It's like Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show when Vanessa, they found out Vanessa got married to her boyfriend or whatever, and it was just dumped in their lap, and he said it's like taking a nice juicy steak and place it on a garbage can lid. That's how you presented that to us. That's how the NFL is presenting the NFL system to us. But we are taking it. We're taking it. Everybody's complaining about it, but nobody's getting together. Nobody's boycotting. Nobody's doing anything, and it's going to stay the way it is just because of that. Nobody banding together, like I said, organizing, getting together, and saying yes. I mean, you have to nobody's going to boycott on anything. You see people boycott Target for like one day or two, or whatever place it may be. Uber, they boycott them in remote spots. I remember I was driving Uber. It was a joke. I mean, nobody really makes. You think you're doing something, you're not doing anything. And when there's little small patches like that, you know who did great things? I mean, I got the right to vote because people boycotted and actually sacrificed things. They died, or it was sprayed with hoses, bitten by dogs. And this is what you're supposed to be doing, but it meant something. That was your livelihood. This is more entertainment. So maybe people don't think it's worth boycotting for. So people just going to get in their corner and complain about the situation and just keep going the way they are. Well, that's my rant.
I definitely agree with that. And I know that no one's going to go through the things that our ancestors went through, and for good cause, because the right to vote, the right to be educated for, brown people, those were life and death moments. Like if you can't read, you may be taking something that's poisonous. If you can't be educated enough to teach others or to teach yourself to be able to survive, that's the foundation of this world is education and being able to read. If you don't do anything else, you at least need to complete a 12th grade education so that you can coexist in this world. But the Department of Justice launched this antitrust investigation is what they're launching it under. And this probe is focusing on media rights deals. And even though, we say nothing will be done, it is not just exclusive to YouTube, it's exclusive to Amazon Prime, all those streaming services that exist that we, the consumer, has had to pay for. It is basic economics, supply and demand. They were like, okay, now you got women that watch football. So now you got to cater to the entire demographic. Growing up, women were somewhere else. We were on the phone with someone I watched, my grandmothers, they on the phone. They're not in the room when the games are on. That's my dad and my uncle, and if we had company coming over, no female I know came over during the game and just sat down in the room where the game was on. Nobody. Everybody came through, they greeted, and when we were having events with our family on Thanksgiving, when the families all over and the games were on, no one was sitting there paying attention to that game. It was on, but the women were over in the kitchen, helping with food, talking to people, socializing, none of that stuff. But today, and because of people like me as well, we love football. We see that it's more exciting than we thought, and it's, engaging, it's exciting, but the DOJ, I hope they do have a way to come through this, B, because this is an affordability issue. You're right. No one is going to sit there and if we all say boycott, they may do it for like 1 or 2 Sundays. And we saw this when Colin Kaepernick was taking the knee. Everybody was like, oh, I'm no longer with the NFL because, they're blackballing him, blah, blah, blah. So I'm into college. A lot of people would tell me that. I haven't watched the NFL since Colin Kaepernick played because I'm into college because of this. Well, it doesn't look like that now because guess what? Now we're talking about it. Now the pricing has gone up. I guarantee you 10 years ago, all these streaming services were not carrying the NFL. They had the NFL on Disney. Disney just brought some of the rights to the NFL. I talked about this last week on my Wednesday show. Freaking Disney, which was known and continues to be known as a family-oriented, mostly cartoon, mostly anime for entertainment purposes only, has now gotten rights to the NFL as well. And we see this when Eli and Peyton Manning are doing their whole little Toy Story shebang on ESPN on some of the games as well. They try to make it more entertaining to children. So now you are marketing this to the future generations. So the women here don't just stop. This is going to be forever now. Women are now, intertwining this as one because now you're educating children that are at home playing that may not pay attention otherwise to actually look at this as well. There is a loophole, though I will say this. This actually hinges on Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961. So this law goes back before all of our times. This law actually gave the NFL the antitrust exemption that they had so that they could be able to negotiate with these teams, these television deals. And now they've just gone crazy because back then it was free. It was free to be broadcasted on television. But now they are being investigated because the NFL possibly could lose that protection once it puts games behind subscription paywalls. So the subscription paywalls is what would be, and all of you all who have that legal mind know that is a contractual loophole. That is a loophole. That is a clause that was not addressed back in 1961. And as a result, here we are in 2026 saying, you know what? Oh, now you guys are paying. And it probably would have gone over a little bit had they not gone so astronomical with the greed, with the, okay, we're going to only air one game on CBS. We're going to air the playoffs on NBC. And if you don't have a local antenna, too bad, so sad. So guess what? We're going to Amazon buying a $12 antenna to get the local channels now. Because guess what? YouTube blocks out the local channels unless you have a YouTube overall subscription. If you just have the YouTube NFL Plus, you're not getting local channels. I know. So this is the thing. In March of 2026, Congress got involved. It started with Senator Mike Lee, the chair of the Senate Antitrust. He actually started this whole thing with DOJ and asked them to look at the distribution methods that was going on. And then in 2025, that we just wrapped up, if you go back just a little bit, these games were spread across 10 different streaming services, y'all. 10, including that YouTube season opener exclusive that started in Brazil. They literally started it there. So if you all remember, there was a previous YouTube lawsuit and it was a class action suit. I got a note about it. I didn't even pay attention because I think it was $5 after the fact. $4.7 billion YouTube had to pay out to customers against the NFL because it was overturned on a technicality, but it highlighted that significant legal question about how out-of-market games are priced and sold. Of course, the NFL is like, this is most fan-friendly. That's what they're saying. They said 90% of the games still air on free broadcast networks. I'm like, what games are those? They're saying CBS, Fox, and NBC actually air 90% of the games, and that all local games remain available on free TV in the competing teams' markets. But if you're like J Train and myself, we live in Atlanta, and our teams are Carolina and New Orleans. We never see our teams. Number one, the Falcons are our rival. They would not even give us the grace to air us on Fox unless we're playing them. And there was one time, I never will forget this. The Falcons were on a bye, and the Panthers game was on the directory, on the actual menu to play. I never forgot. Had got my food ready, sat down, like, okay, the Falcons on the bye. Y'all, they played racing. It tuned into racing. They did not even air the game, and it was on the menu it was on the agenda for the day. I can't think of the word, but that right there lets you know that they may say 90% of the games are available, but they clearly are not. And so I know, B, you probably don't go through this too much because you're in the Michigan area, you're in Detroit, so you get a chance to see your Lions. But to stay out of market, and okay, if you want to see them, then you're going to pay. Then that just makes people go and buy them broken fire sticks. That's what happens at the end of the day. But we'll see how this goes because this is a big stickler, and I know a lot of people have interest over this.
I mean, free enterprise capitalism, it don't make a difference. It'd be one thing if some people get like the Target thing that James was talking about one day. That doesn't do anything to the corporation trust. It's definitely not going to make a dent in the NFL if that happens. This is something that's got to be like, what it is? The American people or the people that subscribe to whoever's an NFL fan, because subscriptions and streaming networks are all over the world. So you got to understand that fact too. It's just not Americans that are having this issue. It's probably everybody around the world that has a streaming service that has to pay for it. So, I mean, that would take everybody astronomical numbers to stop doing that. Yeah. And like I said, the DOJ could do whatever they want. It's capitalism. The NFL is doing everything within the line of the law. And believe me, they know the law. They have attorneys there that are probably more experienced than anybody on the DOJ is right now. So you got to understand that whole thing. I know it sucks for us as fans because we can't see certain things at certain times, or we got to pay to see something. But you know what? That's just the way that this time and age is becoming. So either get used to it or just don't watch it, or you watch the local stuff. And I know you guys are in Atlanta and you got two different teams you watch, but in fact, they are correct in the fact that they will show local games because they'll show Atlanta games because they won't show a Carolina or New Orleans Saint games. Well, they're not local. They're in their division, but they're not local. James would have to go to Louisiana to get a local, and you would have to go to Carolina to get a local. So they're doing what they're saying they're doing. It's just screwed up. That's all.
So for me, there are a lot of teams out. There are a lot of fans, like Sonia said, that are displaced. that live in other cities that would love to watch their team's games. Maybe perhaps the NFL can create packages for people like that, where you can actually have just your team package. You can create something like that. I mean, I know somebody's thought of it, but it's probably not lucrative enough for the organization to do anything like that. So that's why. But I mean, that would be excellent for people like myself, for Sonia, who are displaced team wise. You know, they live in another city from where their team is, and so for me, like say for instance, I do live in Atlanta. I would love to have a package to where I could watch all New Orleans games at a certain price. I would just do that versus because a lot of the other games I watched them, but I watched them out of necessity to talk
Yeah.
about to be on this show. But the rest
Mhm.
of the main games I want to watch are for the Saints, New Orleans Saints, and I don't get to do that because, like you said, Sonya, sometimes something may show up as if you're going to watch it, and it may get nixed just
Yeah.
at the last minute, whether it
Mhm.
be a blackout or whatever case may be. Something may happen, but it does happen, and that's
I
unfortunate.
I think for
That's
me, what B brought up, and it made me think about it. I would accept that if I'm not thinking, okay, when I go to Miami and I see the Panthers playing there, they're clearly not in their network. And Florida has NFL teams, but you know what they do? They air them on CBS. So the Panthers are still aired on Fox. So that's the problem I have. Okay, Atlanta, we get it.
yeah, the
You
AFC
guys own
NFC
Fox.
thing. Yeah.
But there's been games that the Panthers play that are aired on CBS. If the team they're playing has an agreement with CBS, then, but for the most part, they're in Fox Charlotte. But at the same time, it's really, really crazy. Yeah, Danny, I agree with that. All right. Well, we'll, as we say, the verdict is still out on that.
It's
Let's move
it's
over. Yes,
this
B?
just one thing before we move to the next one. The
Sure.
NFL don't care about you, me,
Yeah.
James. Don't care about that. They care about the almighty dollar. And same thing they do about the players. So yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, James, yeah, they
Get him,
don't
get him
care
a
about
sound
us, man. They
effect.
don't
Get him,
care.
get him a crying
They
effect
don't
or something.
care.
All I gotta say is that they don't really care about us.
They don't really care
Right.
about us. Yeah, so we know this. We know they don't care. And at the end of the day, no one cares. Let's be clear. The world is a cold place. No one cares except the people in your own home. I learned that a long
Mhm.
time ago. And if anyone
Mhm.
else shows you an ounce of compassion, you are extremely blessed. So you have to just know. So overall, we know they don't care, but we still will keep you guys posted because we're all interested. And I'm sure you all are because you're watching a sports show. Let's move over to a little bit of talk. Of course, the NFL draft is only a couple of weeks away. Are you guys excited?
So
Eh,
excited, actually.
So excited. Less than
eh.
2 weeks away, April 23rd through 25th. And analysts have actually been asked about, of course, to break down, the latest intel on. We already know about Fernando Mendoza. I told you guys on Wednesday he's decided he's going to stay with his family in Miami to commemorate his draft. He's still expected to go to the Raiders at number one, but we know switcheroos do occur. However, his mom's health is questionable right now. And so that is the reason why he is staying with family. And so we, of course, send, the best of well wishes for her. But draft buzz is everywhere, guys. And what we're hearing right now is the New York Jets at number two. That's been the buzz this entire week. And a lot of predictions about who's going where and what have you. What are you guys' thoughts on the draft? I mean, this is not the best draft class. Let's be clear. Everyone's talked about how Arch Manning coming out and or not coming in, should I say, has messed it up. But I'm gonna be honest. I just have not heard too much beyond Fernando Mendoza. It's just like that's where everybody's been hyping, and it's like the other people that are the other players that are in line to be drafted. There's so much instability about number two and number three. We've seen this narrative before, even back with Bryce and CJ. The number one and number two every year, and the closer we get to the draft, this is what we see. So let's do it a little bit different. Your specific team. Do you think after we talk about who this number two, or we could even talk about, let's say, the top 4 or 5 players? projected to go. Let's talk about those. And this year, fortunately, the Panthers are not in the top 10. Thank God. Wow. Feels so great to say that. But and we don't owe nobody no draft picks. Yay! We actually
Wow,
got out.
you are debt free.
We are debt free. You know, we paid for Bryce so long. It feels great. So I'll just go last. Let's start with the Saints extraordinaire here. Who do you see going at number 2 and 3, 4, 5? And then what would the Saints needs be going into the draft?
So the Saints needs, and there's been a lot of speculation and talk that right now they've been having in the top 30 picks that for visits, they've been having wide receivers come in. So you had the likes of Cardinal Tate. Today, Jordan Love, not Jordan Love, Jordan Tyson came in today as well. And they also had Chris Bell out of Louisville. So a lot of receivers have come in, but I don't know. I really think there's a lot of speculation of Caleb Downs, the slot slash safety cornerback, safety extraordinaire, high IQ, national champion with Ohio State. I think he's going to be a really good player, and he may not fall to the Saints within the number 8 pick, but if he does, out of all the players that would be there, he's the one I'm more excited about receiving it, and that's Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. Now, if you want me to go through the top 8 picks that before they get to me, I have my idea where players will go. Yes,
absolutely.
Okay. So number 1 overall, I think everybody knows it's no secret. Fernando Mendoza is likely the consensus overall number 1 pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's the quarterback. The Steelers draft. Absolutely. Yes. And not, but it's not going to be Blade. It's going to be Nino Brown. You need a Nino Brown there, brother. Yeah. You're gonna need a Nino Brown there. Not Blade. It's gonna be Nino Brown.
Like Mike Tomlin.
They had a Nino Brown there.
Because he's gonna tell everybody, sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
And you know what? He kind of looks like Mike Tomlin a little bit, so it wouldn't be too far removed.
Yes. So with that said, yes, Fernando Mendoza, number 1. It's going to be either Arvell Reese out of Ohio State or Bailey out of Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, defensive edges. That's going to go number 2 to the Jets, and Jack will be happy or pleased with that. At number 2, not even the Jets can mess that pick up. I mean, but maybe they can.
Yeah.
I mean, and knowing Jack's team, that they can. They got 2 picks in the top 16. Number 16, they have a draft pick as well. So they really shouldn't mess the draft up. But I see them going with it's been a lot of mock drafts that have them selecting either Bailey or Arvell Reese. Number 3, Arizona. They're probably either going to go with Jeremiah Love, the running back, or they're going to go with an offensive lineman here. And that's Mano Noah out of Miami. I can't. Forgive me, sir, if you're watching the show out there. I'm jacking your name
Francis
up.
Magoa.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
The New York.
The offensive tackle.
That is the worst organization. Yes, he's an offensive tackle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's Francis Magoa.
Yeah, it's something, man. Yeah, we totally jacking it up.
Magoa.
That's even worse.
Maui Goa.
Yes.
Maui Goa.
Yes. Number 4, I got no way. He's not. They will make a bad mistake if they draft him at number 16.
Yeah,
but
he is not.
Yeah, but they hyping him up. Everybody's been hyping him up. They're trying to get him to go to the Jets at 16, but I just don't see that happening. But with that said, number 4, Tennessee Titans. They either go with, if they don't go with Love, if Love doesn't fall to them, they're gonna go with Bailey or Reese or one of those guys. They need an edge or they need a running back. So I can see Reese or Bailey or I don't think Bailey's gonna go that high. He may, but his Tyrannosaurus arms is gonna push him down a little further down. So we'll see. Number 5, that is the New York Giants. Yes, And I see them going with Sonny Styles here, the linebacker, or they could go with. I like the coach. The coach either he probably would want the running back Love if he would fall. He'd take either Love here or to have a safety like Caleb Downs to use as like Hamilton, like he used Hamilton in Baltimore. I, he's that type of safety. You can move him all over the place, and so I would see them taking either safety, Sonny Styles, or the running back for the Giants. Now Cleveland, they need everything.
Yeah.
They need everything there. So Cornell Tate probably is going to be a wide receiver. I think they probably take Cornell Tate here. Number 7, Washington. If one of those guys, it's gonna be one of those guys. It's gonna be a mix here. They need a corner too. They got rid of Marshawn Lattimore, so Mansour Delane could fall right here. This would be a good spot for him to go there. But also the running back, they could use a running back. So I'd like Jeremiah Love if he falls here, and linebacker. I like the linebacker Sonny Styles here as well. And my man's getting old there. They played for the Wagner. He's real long in the tooth there, but he's still playing pretty decent. But he's going to need a replacement. So Sonny Styles seems like he could be that Mike there for him. And number 8, the Saints. They're talking about receiver. I would like Cornell Tate if he were to fall there, but and Donovan Bailey and Reuben Bain if he's there. Reuben Bain could be a great option for us. There, Cam Jordan. We don't know if we're going to get him back. There's been talks, honestly, about whether or not he may come back or not. We'll see. So Reuben Bain or Bailey can fall there. I don't see Reese falling anywhere past number 3 or 4. And the safety, Caleb Downs. That's about it. And there's been some talks about if we don't get any of those guys, Mansour Delane, the cornerback, we can use another top-notch corner. So that's my take for the top 8.
Okay. Well, you got the number 9. You have a number 10 for the bank. Well, number 9 is the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Well,
I guess we could. Yeah.
I can go to the top 10. Sure.
Yeah, because can't. We're number 19. I'm not gonna give all the way to 19. I'm just gonna give mine in the top 10.
So the Chiefs. A lot of people were saying they could use Reuben Bain there to help Chris Jones out on the defensive line. I can see that as well. I can also see a cornerback, Mansour Delane, or I won't keep wanting to say McDuffie. They lost McDuffie. That's the reason why the kid out of Tennessee, the cornerback. For edge, yes, but not. I wouldn't take. He's not worth a number 9 pick. He's a first rounder, but I wouldn't take no edge outside of Reese, Bailey, and Bain in the top 10. Nobody else. There's nobody. I mean, if somebody takes an edge that high, the GM probably needs to be fired or sit down and to have some counseling or something, because there's none of those edges are worth top 10 outside of the 3 I just mentioned.
Okay, and at number 10 for the Bengals?
The Bengals, they can use everything. The kitchen sink. Hopefully the kitchen sink is worth the top 10. They can use a lot. They need everything. They made a bust pick with their top was it 15 or 17, I think, when they picked the kid out of Texas A&M, Stewart. That wasn't a good pick for them, and they lost T-Rex to the Ravens, and that's what's his name? Hendrickson. They lost Hendrickson.
Oh,
so if Tate's not going to fall that low, brother. He's not going to fall that low. I just think that they could use maybe they can use another weapon. That's what I heard. I heard a take by somebody. They said they don't have anything defensively, but if they want to keep shoring up their offense, why not go for the tight end Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, who ran a 4.38, and he's like 6'5", and nobody's ran that fast since Vernon Davis, the last great tight end that ran that days, and he could be the next replacement for Travis, whatever Travis' last name. I'm sorry,
Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey. Yes, no, it's not Kelsey. It's Taylor, right? Swift.
Yes, Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Look, Kelsey, I know, right? Taylor. All right. Well, that's a great take. James, And we will continue talking about that when we come right back. About to go pay some bills with B. But James, definitely good picks. We'll talk about that here in about 1 minute, guys. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Thank you for choosing McGrath Podcast Network. Shout out to BA Productions. And welcome to the second half of our show. We are talking none other than NFL draft. We are talking about our specific draft picks. Welcome into our audience members, and thank you for everyone who's been commenting so far, and on YouTube and on the socials alike. So James, you just wrapped up your top 10 picks. Of course, I'm hoping that the Saints at number 8 pick. You're a special person here. What depth do you think he would bring? Of course, you guys have decided now, I'm sure, that Tyler Shuck is your QB number 1. Of course, everyone should be settled in with this being year number 2. The Saints absolutely turn their season around behind Shuck. I honestly feel had he been the QB from week 1, you guys likely would have won the South. I literally believe that. And so what type of depth do you think your draft choice would bring? And would this be the person that you all need, especially when you're talking about Cam Jordan possibly not returning? I mean, of course, we see players as they age or what have you, and it's kind of like the writing's on the wall. So it's not like we push them out. We don't want them to go out, but time waits for no one, or man in this case. And so what were you looking for at your number 8 selection here?
What you just said makes so much sense, and also I'll piggyback and add on to that is that time is undefeated. It waits, like you said, it waits for no one. We will all lose. Jordan lost. LeBron will lose soon. Drew Brees lost, and what a great loss it was. But I mean, he fought the good fight there. And for those of you watching, he is not deceased. He has not passed on to the other side. We are talking about their careers in football. And so, yes, Cam Jordan, he doesn't think he's done. He had 10 and a half sacks last season, which he did great for somebody that's 37 years old. I just think that, he probably wanted a little more money than they were willing to pay. And the Saints were giving hometown discounts to a lot of older players, and they just had to stop doing that. And in order to change their trajectory of success that they wanted. And so you see it now. Tyler Shuck is the guy, like you said, and now you have to build around him. And so for their first draft pick at number 8, it may not be on offense that can help them. It may be on defense. And if we don't get someone like Cornell Tate, I know Jordan Tyson is going to be available. They also speak of yes, Danny, it does.
Danny,
they also speak of
I don't want you to put me out there on it, but whatever.
Right?
Lemon, the guy out of USC, he's also considered an option as well. But look, Caleb Downs, not Arvell Reese, but Bailey, if he falls, which I don't think he's going to, or Ruben Baines Jr. If they get there, man, these are plug and play guys, and it would definitely benefit Tyler Shuck as a whole, the New Orleans Saints as a whole, as a team. But with that being said, they also have the 2026 number 42 overall, and that's where they're likely projected to pick a receiver if they don't get the guy that they want in the front. And the guy that played with him at Louisville with Tyler Shuck is Chris Bell. He is might be a projection at 42, because
Oh.
he's been advocating for him. He's been
Y'all
advocating
trying to
for
do
him.
what Bryce did with his boy. Come on now. Come on.
And also what Joe Burrow did with Jamar Chase out of
Yep.
LSU. So
Yep.
I
It's
mean,
been
these boys, they familiarity and being comfortable with somebody that you know already, and especially when you're young. And let's not get it twisted. Tyler Shuck is young, but he's not that young.
right.
He was in college for 7 years, so he'll be 27 this year when he
Just
plays. So
27? You're not 37?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
no,
gotcha.
yeah, not 37,
Def-
but yeah, he's 27.
That's
But yeah,
definitely good.
that being said, that's it. I just think that whatever they get, it's going to benefit them in the right direction. So NFC South, look out. Saints are coming.
Well, we're gonna try to send y'all marching in. I'll give my picks last. I'll give the platform to B. The Lions. I don't know what pick y'all got. Somewhere probably I think number 21 or something like that.
17.
Excuse you. Wow. Okay. I don't know how, but anyway, 17. I was trying to give y'all around hovering around us at 19, but you guys were in the playoffs. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
all right, B, give me your top 10 and your number 17 pick for the Detroit Lions.
Well, besides the shade that you're trying to throw at me,
Oh my
which,
gosh. No,
whatever
I
it is.
try to reel it in.
Anyway, I'm not going to go 10 picks because this is just. I know everybody wants to hype the draft up to get these players into their teams, but this is not a very good draft at all. I figure the first three guys that are on the board, besides Mendoza, are probably the best players you're going to get anyway. So this is how I'm going with the draft in the first five. Of course, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be taking Mendoza. That's probably a given. I haven't really heard anything from that point. I haven't heard any swaying from that first round pick. So we'll go with the flat Mendoza at number one. Now, number two, the New York Jets. I think they're going to actually go after Caleb Downs because they need a safety. They need something to help that defense out. And usually safeties, you start getting good safeties, you start improving that defense because the safety is the last guy. If he's a really good guy, you got to look at the Super Bowl teams that have been, teams that have been in the Super Bowl. Safety is one of the players. The Seattle, as a matter of fact, their safety was extraordinary in the playoff run. So you have to go by that. I think the Jets need that. They're going to take a while to build on their team anyway, so it's not really. They're going to just put in good players where they can put them in. So I got the Jets taking Caleb Downs at that pick, and then at number three, I think Arizona should go with Reuben Baines, because they need an edge rusher. Their defense is still kind of malaligned from what they had last year. I mean, it was kind of a disaster considering the fact that Gannon was a defensive guy. He came from Philadelphia, and that defense was still not that good. And they got players, too. They had got players on the free agency, but they just didn't have any good – I don't know what was going on, the continuity, whatever was going on. So I got them taking Baines. And then at number 3, which is the Tennessee Titans, due to Pollard only being on his contract for 1 year, I think they will go ahead and grab Jeremiah Love for their running back of the future. I think that's a good move. I've kind of been thinking that's what they're going to do because they do need a running back of the future. Pollard is getting older, and he's on his last year of his contract. Now, Spears is a good running back. No doubt. But with Jeremiah Love, you basically got a whole package in one running back. And that will probably spell Spears, which will probably be good for both players, actually, to tell you the truth, if they're on the same team. So I got them taking him at that. And number 5, the New York Giants. Now, this is a really weird thing here. I actually think they're going to go offensive tackle. Well, you have somebody to be back there not chasing Dart around all day, because Dart doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to dive or anything like that. I mean, he's got like 17 concussions already. That's because he's running for his life back there. So I think an offensive tackle for the Giants would be good, and I think they will take the guy that we can never pronounce his name. Francis Mauga, whatever. And far as the Lions are
As
far as the Lions are concerned, they're either going to go with an offensive lineman or, I mean, the way that they've been hoarding basically offensive linemen during the offseason, during free agency. And I feel that they're trying to go defensive end, but you know, I don't even know what these people are doing here in Detroit. So either it's going to be offensive linemen. I like Proctor, couple other guys that are out there for the offensive line that the Lions were talking about.
Penn State lineman.
Oh yeah, that Penn State guy. Ione. He's another guy.
I had him on my
And Caleb Lomo is another guy that they've been talking about as well. They also, as far as the
no Lomo.
Defensive lineman that they got up there, I don't know if Kedrick Falk will be that low at 17. I don't think that's going to happen. But they have the other end for Miami, Mesidor. I think they said that's a guy they were looking at as well. So if they get either one of that, I mean, it is what that is. Like I said, I don't know which way they're going to go, tell you the truth. They can come out of the blue and get a corner. I don't know what they're doing. They're not giving out, and this is what the Lions do every season. You don't know who they're going to pick. They could move up in the draft. They could move down in the draft. It's what Brad Holmes does, but I'm just making an assumption. So based on that, but yeah. That's what I get.
There's going to be a lot of trading in the top half because you're looking at, for the premium players, I say there's maybe 10 to 12,
if that many
players that are worth what those picks are.
Yeah. And let's not sugarcoat it either. Mendoza, because of the fact that he won a national championship, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. That is the only reason why he's number one. He's not really a number one quarterback either, to tell you the truth. But because the Raiders have a need at that position and they need a quarterback at that position, they don't have any quarterback at that position really that's going to take that team through the season. And they just got Kirk Cousins. So I think this is going to be the perfect situation for Mendoza in the first place. Kirk Cousins can start some games. Mendoza can sit behind him with the clipboard, get some veteran leadership there. And that would be great for Mendoza, but I just don't. I don't think he's worthy of a number one pick. But it is what it is.
Well, saving the best for last. J Train threw a shot and said, "Watch out, NFC South." But we'll talk about that in a minute because clearly my Panthers are in premium position. But let's run through my picks for number one. There was a few of them. 1 through 10. There was a few of them that I actually agreed on. I had 3 charts. I had a couple of the ones you guys said, but of course, there's no debate about Fernando. I had Arvell Reese for the Jets at number 2, the edge. And then I thought about it was going to be Francis Magol for the Cardinals, the offensive tackle at number 3. I do have Jeremiah Love going to the Titans. I have Sonny Styles with the Giants at number 5. And then there's one you guys didn't mention, Monroe Freeling for the Browns, the offensive tackle. I think even though the Browns need everything, they need everywhere. They're going to have to pick what's there. So Monroe Freeling should be available at the number 6 for them. I have Bailey. I think one of you guys mentioned David Bailey, the edge for the Commanders at number 7. Mm-hmm. And for the Saints, I have the special teams, Caleb Downs, the safety. I think that the Saints are a very complete unit, to be honest with you, and they don't have that many holes to be filled. And so the special teams is always the clincher in divisional and high stakes games. And I think putting that draft pick in him would be very conducive for, the long run with them, especially those nail biter games. For number 9, I have Reuben Bain Jr. going to the Chiefs. The edge, I don't have a tight end going right now. Over there, of course, Travis Kelce has already renewed his contract with them. Even though time is undefeated, they're going to give him another, spin around the clock, spin around the block. And so I have him for number 9. And at number 10 for the Bengals, I have Akeem Mesidor, the edge, to complete out my top 10. Now, Of course, the Buckeyes have been flexing this historic draft. This was the playoffs that we don't see a whole lot of UGA, a whole lot of Alabama. Like it's the same with the whole playoff scenario. We're seeing more Oregon, more Ohio State, more Michigan players actually have the exposure that we just hadn't seen in recent years. But that running back position that you guys talked about, the person that's going to be RB1 is what's rare with Jeremiah Love, because it brings that stamina and that electricity to the draft. Because other than that, you guys said it best. This is like but he had a 21 touchdown season at Notre Dame. So you cannot, negate the fact that he's bringing at least something to that position to this draft. Of course, that Miami sack exchange with that Miami rivaling, the Miami State game, rivaling the Ohio State game, defensive dominance with Bain Jr. and Messidor, both projected as elite pass rushing anchors. You got to look at all of that when you're thinking about the draft. Now, as for my Panthers, I told you guys, J Train threw a shot out there. Well, I just dodged it. I didn't even get hit. That bullet went somewhere over there. This is the first time we are picking at number 19, at least for now. But this is the first time in many years that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have our team in an upward trajectory when it comes to the draft. We currently hold the number 19 position, but we have 7 total selection in this year's draft. The reason why we don't really need a lot is because we solidified a bunch of contracts within the last few weeks that made sure that we got these guys paid where they need to be paid. Of course, the free agency is what I'm referencing, but we do have a few holes left to support Bryce Young development and, of course, solidifying this defense that everybody talked about 2 seasons ago, but they definitely didn't talk about this past season. Of course, we're bringing back T-Mac and Ikem Ekwonu and Nick Scott and the safeties and all them. So as a result, we are projected 4 different players that may go at number 19 if they're available. The first being Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. He's an exception basically because he's so explosive at that position. Mm-hmm. He led collegiate tight ends in touchdowns all last year, like for all of college. So he's a high prospect to go. If he's not available, I know I mentioned Monroe Freeland with another team, but out of Georgia, he's definitely going to be an asset if we can grab him. 6'7", 315 pounds. 4.93 speed. We need somebody that can get to Bryce and get him protected before the opposer does. And so he would be great at that position. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. A lot of people haven't been talking about them, but they are in the top 20 to go. This dude is a Bill Hawk with 10 forced fumbles and 5 interceptions over his college career. So that's pretty big for the special teams. And then if none of those guys are available, we're going to take a look at KC Concepcion, the wide receiver out of Texas A&M. High separation. That's big, big, big. To get that high separation in the slot and then to round out the trio where we already got T-Mac and Jalen Coker. If we get KC Concepcion, I'll still be just as happy because that will make it a triple threat in Carolina, especially because we already signed Jalen Phillips as an edge. We already got Devin Lloyd, the Pro Bowler, the linebacker. Now we got Rasheed Walker from the Packers, our offensive lineman. And then we re-signed Isaiah Simmons, LeBrian Ray, and Travis Gibson. And not to mention Jonathan Brooks is projected to come back this year. So no, sir, don't watch out NFC South. Watch out all over this mouth, okay? Because we all over the South. We all over the South, and we all over the North, the East, the West. And y'all
brought to you by Shade. It is just not for summer anymore.
Absolutely. The Shade, bring the chill because you're going to need a peel, okay?
And by those who bring the broom for sweeps.
Oh. Well, did we get swept? I don't know. We had a broom and a mop bucket for Atlanta. I don't remember. Did we get swept?
I'm not talking about Atlanta. I'm talking about New Orleans.
I know we lost the game that I saw, but oh yeah, we did. We donated in Charlotte and we shouldn't have, and then we lost in New Orleans. I'll give you
yes.
that. A loss is a loss, right?
You don't hate everything. What's going on?
He's a grumpy person. We need to get him on here. He lives on the
He
thumbs
needs
down
to
emoji.
change his icon, his thumb, to from the picture that he has to Oscar from Sesame Street,
He
where he's popping out of the
is.
trash
I wish
can.
we could change people's like stuff when they come on here. I wish we could change it and like manipulate it. But all right, guys. So of course,
Curmudgeon.
bunch of NFL news. I don't even think we'll get to the NBA games today. It don't even matter anyway. It's the same stuff. Let's talk about these big signings that just occurred. I like winter too, though, Dizzle. I'm a winter baby, so I'm that way. Let's talk about some of these people that got their stuff. Number one pick, Bryce Young, quarterback, of course, Carolina. The Panthers will pick up the 5th-year option on Bryce, and they're going to be discussing what that looks like contractually. I'm super excited for him. This makes sense from the big picture view. Like, why would we move away from him at this point? This is a general manager decision. This was made actually in January, but now it's been solidified because this option keeps the top pick right where he needs to be, and they're building around him. Number 2, CJ Stroud. The Texans have actually exercised Stroud's 5th-year option as well, and they said that this is going to make them basically earn $25.9 million in 2027. At number 3, Will Anderson Jr., and this is all the draft class that are all having these contracts that are expiring. Will Anderson Jr., the edge out of Texans, also exercised his option, $21.5 million for the 2027 season. No word, though, for number 4, Anthony Richardson Sr., the quarterback from Indianapolis. No word. It's just ... However, at number 5, Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback out of Seattle, they have exercised his option, and they are actually getting the opportunity now, $21.2 million, according to him, long-term extension with him, and that's what his word's going to be. No word on the number 6 position, which is the Cardinals' Paris Johnson Jr., the offensive tackle, and number 7, the Raiders' Tyree Wilson at edge. No word, but there is word for the number 8. And it is none other than one of my favorite players, Mr. Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons picked up Robinson's 5th-year option, and everybody, no matter if you like the Falcons or not, knows it was well-deserved. He has already rushed over 1,400 rushing yards and led the league in scrimmage yards with 2,298, almost 2,300 yards, guys, this past season alone. And basically, that was their franchise record. So you have to exercise his option. They're picking up his option, and they have to. Like, he is basically the face of that franchise right now. It's an expectation. They're looking at his contract extension during this offseason. The number 9, Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle out of Philadelphia. No word, but that word probably will come pretty soon because Jalen has been doing what he needs to do since he left UGA. They call him the double dog eagles or something. There was a lot of UGA guys went up to Philadelphia during that draft class. At number 10, Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle with the Bears. No word on number 11, Peter Skronsky from Tennessee. Number 12, the Jahmyr Gibbs. No word yet on the running back out of Detroit.
Get it.
No word on number 13, Lucas Van Ness, the edge from Green Bay. No word from Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle for the Steelers. No word on number 15, Will McDonald, the 4th, the edge out of the Jets. And no word on Emmanuel Forbes Jr., the cornerback there out of Los Angeles. I will say Jordan Addison for the Vikings at number 23, and I think I actually kind of skipped one. Excuse me, guys. Number 17, my bad, guys. Christian Gonzalez for the Patriots. He will be getting his 5th-year option exercised, and it is going to be only $18.1 million. I had to look like, is that true? $18.1 million is as much as he's done for them. But number 18, another Detroit Lion, Jack Campbell, no word for the linebacker. Number 19, Tampa Bay. What'd you say, B, about him?
They'll sign him. That he's a priority. Even
okay,
over Jahmyr
yeah, and
right
I know
now.
I'm running through them fast. I'm trying to run through them so y'all can, if y'all have, just interrupt me. Kalijah Cansey, no word, but number 20, Jackson Smith and Jigba, absolutely. The wide receiver out of Seattle. has
Well,
been signed.
they signed him right.
23.9. However, this brings his 4-year total to $168.6 million for a contract. And Zay Flowers, number 22, no word on him, no word on 21, Quentin Johnston, and no word, but a word on Jordan Addison for the Vikings. They did sign his 5th-year option, $18 million, and he's getting $2.6 million in this year. Additionally, no word on Deonte Banks from the Giants at 24. The Bills did exercise Dalton Kincaid's, the tight end, contract. He's going to get, looks like 18.1 million. No, 8 million, excuse me. 8.1 million. Yeah, what a low blow. But anyway, number 26 for the Jets, Maxie Smith, no word. No, he is actually he was traded this year from the Cowboys. So he's going to be in a package for Kenyon Williams. So we're going to see that. 27, Anton Harrison from the Jaguars. They have actually announced that the team will be exercising his option, which is extended by 19 million. Estimated 19 million. No word on Miles Murphy, number 28 from the Bengals. No word on Brian Brisset.
He got it. He got it in New Orleans. He got it.
He got it today?
Yesterday or today. One of the two.
Okay, because I looked all these stats are from today from ESPN, and it didn't have him as having it yet. Like I literally ran him right before the show.
He got it. Yeah, okay. I know for sure. Yeah.
28, we're just talking about the top 31, I think it is. 28, Miles Murphy, the edge out of Cincinnati, no word. And they also have him listed again at number 29, Brian Brisset, the defensive tackle. He has 2 positions with the Saints.
No, he should be the 29. That's why I was wondering. We got that draft pick from Sean Payton.
I see it. Yeah. So he's not. And then Nolan Smith Jr., number 30. I probably had repeated sorry about that, guys, earlier. Nolan Smith Jr., the Eagles did no word. And Felix Anadike Uzama from the Kansas City Chiefs at number 31, no word. And that rounds out everybody from that draft class that either has been paid or is waiting to get paid.
So I do want to say, going back to Bijan Robinson, he got that exclusive 5th round option, but Atlanta needs to pay him. They need to pay him now and get ahead of that, because the type of running back he is and what he's putting on the field, I mean, he's leading the league in scrimmage yards, and he's their number 1 option on offense. It's not even a question. That's the dude, and you got to go ahead and pay him. I mean, especially looking at what running backs, it's starting to go up. You're starting to see what running backs are getting now. That the price is going up, so you might want to get ahead of that, Atlanta.
Because if not, I sure wish we'll take him in Carolina. I know we got people, but y'all seen Rico Dowdle and got up out of there, so we could, nobody wants to share that space. But the running back life is a short life, so it's always great to have that tag team. And let's be clear, in Carolina, Dowdle was the difference maker back there with Chuba, because Chuba was back there, and then all of a sudden Dowdle came in, we started winning games. So even though Dowdle got mad, like, hey, at first it was all kumbaya at first, and then it was like, wait a minute, whose role is this? It served a purpose. B, what do you think's going on? You guys, I know y'all are going to extend Jahmyr Gibbs for sure.
Let me put it to you this way. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be in a new offense this year. 1, he is going to be the breadwinner in this offense. Doesn't have Montgomery no more, obviously, since the dum-dums decided to trade him. But anyway, the point of the matter is he's going to be taking the load of the carry. Isaiah Pacheco is not going to be the guy that Monty was. He's going to probably be the spell guy. So Gibbs is going to take it 80, 20, 70, 30 most of the time. The offensive line is going to be brand new. So that's going to be something that's got to be looked at too. So I wouldn't pay him until he proves to me that in this new offensive line that he can do the job. Okay, and they got a guy that's a good running backs offensive coordinator in Petsing. So we'll see what happens with that situation. They're definitely going to pay Jack Campbell though.
I
Jack
was just
Campbell
about to ask.
is a
Linebacker.
dog. He is a very good linebacker for the Lions, and he's probably going to be their because they just got rid of Anzalone. I mean, well, Anzalone signed, they didn't get rid of him, but Anzalone signed with Tampa Bay. So he's the guy now. He really is the guy. So yeah, they're gonna sign him. They're gonna sign him before they're gonna sign Jameer. But like I said, it's whatever Jameer does this year. I think that's what they're looking at.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And as you say, you guys see, Carolina doesn't need to throw up anything. We've already taken care and secured our players, so there's no comment for the Panthers. We're in a great position draft wise, and we've already paid our guys. And so it's a great place to end with a great smile. I thank James and Brian for joining me tonight, as always, Friday with the Fellas. I think I forgot to tell y'all this was our platform, but you know who it is. Y'all returning guests and return guests every time. We appreciate you so very much. Join James and B in the Morning with Jack Hirsch for the Sports Debate Show. Join me right after that show at 9:30 for the Ignorant Podcast Network, and then join me again at 4 p.m. for the Legal Score. However, there will be shows sprinkled throughout. If you missed any of the replays from this week, those will be on. It's 24/7 sports without the cost of cable. Y'all know that's what I always say. And with that, we wish everyone a good weekend. Again, happy birthday to my Dunkel. Love you guys.